This is author and motivational speaker Matthew C. Horn, and I'm bringing you a video today titled The Knowledge of the Tree of Good and Evil. Yes, the knowledge of the tree of good and evil. This is going to be one of the best videos I've ever made on dating. And once again, if we're not familiar with each other, my name is Matthew C. Horn. I'm an author, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a dating coach. I have my hand deeply into the self-development industry, and I'm the author of these two books. I've written 7, but these are the 2 that are relevant to this particular video on this channel. How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life. Okay, in the brand new book, How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. And both of my books are available at www.matthewchorn.com. And my theme of the knowledge of the tree of good and evil comes from subject matter that I discuss in these 2 books. Okay, when it comes to the knowledge of the tree of good and evil as it pertains to this video and dating and women, it's showing that women treat men differently. You cannot eat from the knowledge of the tree of good and evil until you had a full range of experiences with women. Only then can you understand how they'll treat one man this way and another man in a more favorable way. Okay, you have to have the full range of experiences to understand what the knowledge entails that is in the tree of the good and evil. Okay. One thing I've learned and one thing I've seen repeatedly is that I would say 99% of men just don't get it. They put up with women's disrespect, disrespect of their time, disrespect of their space, their energy, their money, any way that a woman can possibly disrespect them. Most men stick around for it. Okay, there's that 1% man who doesn't. And that's what I'm trying to get you all to understand and have an awareness of, so you can decide if that's what you want to be. Okay. They routinely cancel on these guys. They flake. They use them for dates. And they're constantly showing these men that they're not on the same page with them as the man is with them, meaning that their interest is not equal with that man's level of interest. But in the name of having sex with her, he compromises his manhood and he sticks around. Or just in the name of being seen with her, if she looks pretty, and he thinks that he's not enough and this and that. So you get an idea. You pretty much see how these guys operate out here, the stuff that they put up with, and just the games from the beginning, the disrespect, and just how these men are groveling and begging, so to speak, just to be in the presence of women. They're pedestalizing women. They're identifying the woman as the prize. Okay, this is her experience. So she has no problem treating different men differently. Okay. So when you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, what tends to happen is that you only settle for women who are extremely into you, because you've seen the full range, meaning non-existent attraction, moderate attraction, and insane high attraction. Okay, where she's extremely into you. All right. When you've seen those different levels and experienced those different levels of attraction, your tolerance is not going to exist for women who are not extremely into you, because that is the best experience that a man can have when he meets a woman who is extremely into him. It's a different experience, but the only way to have that experience is you have to have knowledge of every place on the spectrum of the tree of good and evil. Okay, I want to make this plain for you and relatable through some of my own experiences. I want to tell you some real stuff, okay? I'm not embellishing in any way. Every one of these scenarios happened, and recently, actually. This is real stuff, okay? Sometimes I have experiences with women, and, I have friends who, they're wealthy, they do amazing visible things, and I have status as a public figure. I'm in the public eye and all that stuff, but people who are a little further along or do things on a more grand scale, if you want to scale it that way, I see them look at me and say, she did what happened? The regular experiences I have with women are unbelievable, because men haven't valued themselves enough to show up as that 1% man who's not going to tolerate a woman who is not giving him everything that he's given to her. Okay, so here are the scenarios right here. The first one, okay, I'm at one of the more prominent happy hours in DC, and I'm always going to talk about DC. That's where I live, it's where I'm from. So it's always going to be in my conversation when it comes to dating and women. I'm at the spot, beautiful young lady. I just get there. I see a couple people I know. How it always is. I'm chilling. I'm actually leaning against the bar. It's crowded, but I'm just kind of out the way. I see all these guys trying to talk to this girl. The girl sees me at some point in time without me even noticing that she saw me. But she comes in my space. She makes her way over to me. She has to go through some people to get close to me. She didn't flat out say that she wanted me to talk to her. But, we all understand that women place themselves in the vicinity of men that they want to be approached by and that they want to start the conversation with them. So I noticed this. The guys, of course, that were trying to talk to her and this and that, of course, they noticed it as well. Okay. I started talking to her, and 10 minutes later, we're gone. Okay. That's one scenario. Another scenario is I'm at another establishment, a beautiful, sexy night. Okay, rooftop in DC. I meet this girl, and she's interested. She's admiring my fitted shirt. I was try to keep myself in good shape, playing basketball and running and lifting weights, things like that. And she's just admiring just how I'm put together because I showed up the right way. That's a very intricate and important piece of getting the experiences that you want to have with me. You have to show up the right way. The real conversation is the one that doesn't physically take place. Okay. So I see her, she's kind of back and forth. I run into her outside, when the place lets out, and she says, "You're so attractive that I not only want to experience you, I think my cousin should experience you as well." She's like, "Believe me, you're not going to be disappointed." I'm like, okay. We leave, we go pick her cousin up, and we all, have a great experience. Another experience, and this is all last year, okay? Pre-COVID, man, this stuff is messing everything. Yeah, so, summer 19, so another experience. I'm at a spot, just hanging out, leaving the spot in DC. I see these 4 East African goddesses sitting on the ground. And I go for the taller one because I'm 6'5". I love tall, beautiful women. They're all in their mid-20s. I mean, these chicks are drop dead gorgeous. I start talking to the one, but I'm not rude. I introduce myself to everyone. And they're looking at me like, where in the world did you come from? Because they're like, this time of night, somebody like you is talking to us, So the attraction was there. The energy was there. Okay. So I continue talking to the one that I'm interested in. And they call it Uber. They tell the girl that I'm talking to, you going with him. You go with him. Yeah, these are real experiences. They're like, yeah, we're on your team tonight. You go with him. Just like that. And yeah, that's where we went. She went with me. Okay. Another experience, because I'm not gonna paint it like I'm just this magnetic guy and every girl is just going crazy. No, I'm realistic, So here's another example that shows the other side of the spectrum. Okay, I'm at a spot, real sexy spot in DC. I'm talking to this gorgeous girl. I mean, she's a solid, I would say 8.5, 9, borderline 10. I mean, tall, shorty was slim, had a little body on her, long hair. I mean, yeah, she was tough, man. It was literally one of those girls that when one man leaves, another one just steps right up, and everybody's just trying to see who she's going to gravitate towards. One of those type of women. So I'm talking to her. I'm not feeling the energy. But I'm like, I might as well see, if I can get her number or something like that, because she's kind of there with me. And she says, when I ask her for a number, she says to me, "Oh, do you have a card? I really don't give my number out like that and this and that." Now, I write the books about this stuff. I should have known better. I should have just walked away right there. I know how those stories end. Those girls are not going to call you. They're not interested. But you know, they know that you're attractive, so they'll have a conversation with you just to, maintain their level of allure in the club. Even if not you're not their exact type, they'll still kind of deal with you because you're still very attractive, even though I might not be her exact type. I help her to maintain her allure and her level. It's a lot of deep, conversations taking place within conversations and atmospheres. Okay. So I give her my card. Now pay close attention to what she says after this. She's like, "Thank you for being a gentleman. Thank you for being a beta. Thank you for not going with your instincts. Thank you for not acting in alignment with how attractive you really are. Thank you for not acting in alignment with the experiences that you have with women who look just as good or better than me that are actually completely into you and move completely opposite of how I move." This stuff is deep, man. I'm giving y'all some good stuff here, okay? So I go upstairs to the next floor, see the girl, same girl that just asked for my card, talking to this other guy. She's all in his space. She's leaning in towards him. She's completely enraptured with this dude. And I see him pull out his phone and just give it to her. And she gladly put her number in there. This is the same girl who says she doesn't give her number out like that. So this is the knowledge of the tree of good and evil. When you understand that different women treat men differently in different ways when they're, not attracted to them, moderately attracted to them, or extremely attracted to them. Okay. When you've eaten from the tree of good and evil, meaning you've had the experiences to understand how women really are and how they act when they're really into a guy, when you've eaten from this tree, first of all, believe that you can have the experiences that you really want to have. Believe that there are women who are extremely attracted to you if you show up a certain way. Okay? You don't deserve just to have women into you. It's a science behind it. All right? Nothing too deep, but it's all based on, self-respect, self-awareness, and presenting yourself the right way. And it's deeper than that. But just for the sake of this video, I'll leave it right there. Okay. So understand that, yes, the experiences that I talked about, of women just no dates, no games, no delays, no nothing. Man, you're extremely attractive. You're my exact type. That's the beginning and the end of the conversation when the girl is extremely into you. At that point, there's no rules and there's no games. She's going to do what she naturally wants to do, which is to immediately explore whatever you both want to do in that moment. And that can be anything because her inhibitions are gone because she's completely into you. Okay. That's an experience that a lot of men are not going to have. So they're not even going to think this is possible. But if you present yourself the right way, once again, it will be a norm. It will be a fixture. Okay, those experiences I told you about, they took course not over a year. They took course over the time span of some months. Okay, that's just like a day in the life. That's normal stuff to me. Okay, so the good thing about having these experiences and actually believing that these experiences are possible is you will not settle for anything less than the woman who is extremely into you. Okay. So let me tell you what that looks like. Here's a scenario I had yesterday. All right, on a dating app. I had talked to a girl. This was on Hinge. So the girl, I clicked on her picture. She says, "You're so handsome. Thank you for liking my picture." So she didn't invite me to start a chat. She matched with me and she started the conversation. I was like, "That's great." I was like, "Shorty, you look good too." We went back and forth a couple times. I'm like, "Hey, let's meet up at such and such. Like, when are you free?" She told me the day she was free, which was yesterday. Okay. So I get myself together. I run 2 miles instead of running my normal 4 miles. So I'm already cutting back on my exercise that I do when I wake up every day. And, quickly modified my breakfast, something, I scaled it back less than what I would normally intake, just in the name of getting there on time, okay? I told her early in the week I would let her know when I was on the way. Right when I go to message her, I see that 30 minutes before we're supposed to meet up, she says, I'm sorry for the late reply, but I can't make it. Let me tell you what the average guy would do. Oh, so when are you available? It's okay. And then she's gonna keep playing with you because at that point, that's extremely disrespectful to cancel on somebody 30 minutes before you're supposed to meet up. Okay. But here's the position I'm in. Here's the position that I want you in. Okay. I consistently have the experiences that I want to have with the type of women that I want to have them with. Gorgeous women are a fixture in my world. So there are many gorgeous women who will have question marks in their eyes right now because I left their space and didn't play around with them when they tried to play around with me. Because being played around with is not my experience. That's not an experience that I will engage in. The only experience I engage in is the one when a woman is extremely attracted to me. You have to own the experience that you want, and you can't settle for anything less than that. When you move that way, then the highest level of interaction with women is going to be your experience that you own. Okay? I immediately unmatched that girl. I mean, she looked good, you know. I mean, she had a little something going on, but who cares, man? I have prettier women who cooperate. You know, they do exactly what I want to do, and it's not like I have to force them. They want the same things that I want. You know, that lust is present, that attraction is present, and it's driving the interaction. Okay, and when that's your regular experience, when a woman reveals a facet of herself that is on the place of the tree of good and evil that you don't like, you just remove yourself. That's why it's important to have the experience that you want to have with women on a regular basis and to embrace all experiences. I embrace women rejecting me just as much as I embrace women pulling me in because of the knowledge and awareness that it gives me. A woman rejecting me gives me the awareness of the woman who's extremely into me, okay? The woman who's extremely into me gives me the awareness of the woman who is not into me. It's important to have a balanced perspective and approach to women. In that way, when your approach is balanced, now you don't settle for anything less than the experience that you want. Okay. Just like that girl who wanted my business card but gave the other dude her number. Okay. I knew that within her is a level of attraction for a man that she is extremely attracted to that she would just give her number to. See, that's the knowledge of the tree of good and evil, is when you understand that the woman who is extremely attracted to a man moves with a certain rhythm and cadence. Let me tell you how potent the knowledge of wisdom of the tree of good and evil is. I can talk to a woman, or you can talk to a woman when you get sharp with this stuff, right? You can talk to a woman for a matter of 30 seconds to a minute or less, okay? And understand how attracted to you that she is. When I'm out in some of these establishments in DC, people kind of gravitate towards me, especially a lot of the taller guys. We kind of have this unspoken thing, like, we're in here, we on our mission, and if he's fly, I'm gonna give him that respect. If he thinks I'm fly, I'm gonna give him that respect. Then we kind of like over time get to know each other and things like that. It's good to know people, even if you travel by yourself and you're dolo like I am. It's good to kind of know people in spots and this and that. So anyway, it was one guy in particular. He was telling another guy about me, and he was just like, and he had never expressed this to me. He was like, the way that Matthew deals with women, I haven't seen that before, because the particular place that I see him in, that we both frequent, has some of the most gorgeous women in DC, okay, on a regular basis, any given night. He's seen me talk to extremely beautiful women for less than 10 seconds and walk away from them. And he didn't know what was behind that, but he saw it was so rare that he had to tell somebody else about it. And I explained it to both of them. I said, listen, the attraction wasn't there, the energy wasn't there. I said, I don't go in spaces where I'm not completely, welcomed and celebrated. I need to see some lust in her eyes, man. And it blows these men's mind that a man can actually have these experiences and they see some of the women that I do keep the interaction going with, and they see where we end up. So it's kind of like a marvel. But I'm looking at them like, you should value yourself enough the same way. Like, man, you're 6'3", man. You stay with the fitted coats on, and you have a good profession. Like, and then sometimes when I see them outside of the spot, they like, Matt, come here, come hang with us, man. I got these girls, man. You know, I want to take them out to this lounge and take them out to eat. And I'm like, fool, you know what time of night it is, man? If she likes you, man, if she's really feeling you, ain't got to do all that stuff. So I tell them, nah, man, you take those girls and go do that, man. I'm on a whole nother mission. That's why I have to roll by myself, because it's a rhythm and cadence. You know, if the men that you roll with in terms of getting women, if they're not on the same rhythm and cadence as you, then they're just gonna slow you down, man. You know, so I want to keep this video short. You know, as short as I can. It's 20 minutes now, but I had a lot to say, man. This is some deep stuff, man. Really absorb it. The knowledge of the tree of good and evil, man. Have the full spectrum of experiences and embrace and relish those experiences so that you can know the optimal experience and never settle for anything less than that. Once again, this has been Matthew C. Horn, author and motivational speaker. And today's video was inspired by my book, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life. And also, How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. This one just came out in April. It's doing amazing things, and the men and women who are reading it are giving it rave reviews. Okay, if you're interested in becoming the man who can have the optimal experiences with women, I want you to email me at matthewchorn23@gmail.com. I do offer coaching, okay, for men and women who want to have the optimal experiences with the optimal sex. Okay, once again, my website is www.matthewchorn.com. Go check out my books. Thank you for spending some time with me. And if this video has been of value to you, paypal.com/Matthew C. Horn. Everything will be in the description. Bite the apple, eat from the knowledge of the tree of good and evil.